Okay, so I'm going to read from the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a textbook workbook for thought, speech, and or action for victims of racism and white supremacy. If you do not understand white supremacy, racism, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Neely Fuller, 1971. Facts about the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. The term United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept refers to the basic means through which the people of the known universe as individual persons think, speak, and or act in order to compensate for those things which they, as individual persons, judge to be missing, that they have judged to be of value. When pertinent to those people of the known universe who are the victims of racism, victims of white supremacy, each of the words used in the term mean the following. The word united, as used here, means that the victims of racism who choose to be united are united in regards to their thoughts as to the need to resist and or eliminate racism, white supremacy. The word independent, as used here, means that each and every individual victim of racism is at all times, in all places, and all areas of activity independent in regards to his or her choice of methods used to resist and or eliminate racism. White supremacy, this means that no person, white or non-white, has the just and correct authority to force and or command any victim of racism to adopt any means of speaking and or acting against racism, white supremacy, other than the means that the individual victim chooses for him or herself. The word compensatory is used here, means to make up for that which is missing, namely the revelation of truth and the use of truth in such manner as to promote justice and correctness. Justice and correctness is missing among the people of the known universe because the people of the known universe are dominated by and or tolerant of the racist white supremacists. It is the racist who, in order to maintain the practice, the most effective system for promoting falsehood, non-justice, and incorrectness in the known universe. The word code, as used here, means that each individual victim of racism speaks and or acts to help eliminate racism by utilizing selections from the list of suggestions or from combined lists of suggestions designed to help an individual victim of racism accomplish that purpose. The word system, as used here, means that each individual victim of racism speaks and or acts to help eliminate racism, white supremacy, as an individual person, according to that part of the pattern of certain sports, certain forms of speech and or action, suggested in a kind of listing, code from which any or all victims of racism can pick and choose as they see fit. When many victims of racism, victims of white supremacy, pick and choose to speak and or act against racism from the same general pattern and or code at a time and place of their choice as individuals, a system of speech and action becomes self-developing. The word concept, as used here, means that the entire United Independent Compensatory Code System is no more than a concept or idea during any period when no person in the known universe is speaking and or acting to use truth in the manner that helps to produce justice and correctness. In sum, the overall term United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept means any number of individual persons who are victims of racism, victims of white supremacy, who are in the process of thinking, speaking, and or acting effectively against racism, white supremacy, according to what they, as individual persons, pick and choose from a general code outline and or suggestion lists for thought, speech, and or action that is especially designed for the purpose of helping an individual person to think, speak, and or act against racism. The code outline and or suggestion lists must be designed and used for the purpose of not only eliminating racism, but to do so through the process of using truth in such manner as to simultaneously promote justice and or correctness. All speech and action must be at a time and place in the areas of activity of the individual victim's own choice. Some other titles for the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept are as follows: the Code, the Compensatory Code, the Compensatory Code System concept, the Compensatory Counter-Racist Code, the Compensatory Counter-Racist System, the Compensatory System, the United Independent Compensatory Code. Any person, while speaking and or acting in effective opposition to racism, white supremacy, is a producer, a promoter, and or supporter of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. Also, any person, while speaking and or acting in a manner that helps to promote justice or correctness, is a producer, a promoter, and or a supporter of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. The United Independent Compensatory Code System concept works in the following manner. Ideas for speaking and or acting to eliminate racism and for producing justice and correctness are listed as they come to mind. The list of ideas are arranged into an order or code of thought, speech, and or action that is designed to be used by an individual person. The individual person uses parts of the code that he or she judges to be best suited for promoting justice and correctness and eliminating racism. The individual person does this by his or her own will, at a time, place of his or her own choosing, in any one or more listed areas of activity, namely economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. The individual person may or may not add refinement to the code by making his or her own additions or modifications to it. The basic guides used by supporters of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concepts are, in all, sources of knowledge and understanding of truth, justice, and correctness. These sources include printed material, verbal messages, personal experiences, etc. There is no one person who is the leader of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. Each individual person leads him or herself each minute of each day and night according to what he or she has chosen for one or more parts of the code system concept that he or she judges to be of value. There is no organization associated with the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept that a person can join and or become a member of. A person who says or does anything that helps to promote justice or correctness, and or who says or does anything that helps to eliminate racism, white supremacy, is during that time an organ of the code system concept. There are no mandatory collections, donations, loans, and or transfers of money associated with the United Independent Compensatory Code System. To contribute to the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept, all a person has to do is say or do something in a manner that helps to eliminate racism, white supremacy, and or that helps to promote the practice of justice and correctness. A supporter of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept seeks to speak and or act to eliminate racism, white supremacy. Each and every day and each and every night in at least one area of activity. Examples: economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, war, etc. a supporter of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept, avoids speaking or acting against any people or persons who are not practicing white supremacy, racism, as long as white supremacy is the dominant motivating force among the people of the known universe. There are no restrictions applicable to any persons who seek to help to promote the objectives of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept in regards to the ages of those persons. There is no person who speaks for another in association with the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. Each person speaks his or her views and is not responsible for the remarks of others. No non-white person is responsible for anything that any person says or does in association with the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. It is just and correct for any person, white or non-white, to speak and or act in support of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. The basic author of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept is the law of compensation itself. It is the existence of white supremacy, racism, and other forms of non-justice and incorrectness that authors and or authorizes the existence of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept. White supremacy breeds opposition to white supremacy. Non-justice breeds opposition to non-justice. Incorrect breeds opposition to incorrectness. This is the law of compensation. One of the basic goals of every supporter of the United Independent Compensatory Code System concept is and must be to evolve a universal way of life in which no person will put to death another person for any reason, and 2, every person will seek to help every other person for no other reason than that help is needed in order to maintain justice and correctness.